A few weeks ago, when I was still in Jakarta, I went for a breakfast at the Kempinski Hotel. The Kempinski Hotel is one of the oldest hospitality institutions in Jakarta. But anyway, I always go there when I'm in Jakarta. They have a nice breakfast buffet. So while I was sitting there enjoying my breakfast by myself, I noticed a very attractive young Indonesian woman also sitting alone, maybe 10 meters away from me on the right side, and she was staring at me, really staring. So I then looked away because I instantly kind of knew what kind of woman that was, what kind of category of woman that was. And this is the topic of today's video. I want to talk about today how do you discern let's say good regular girls in Indonesia from the maybe not so good girls, let's call them hookers, freelancers, whatever. I'm not saying they are bad girls per se, but anyway, still here in Yogyakarta, walking down some back streets here. Show you around a little bit. So yeah, I was sitting there and I instantly kind of knew that she kind of must be a hooker or something like that, because also the environment suited her behavior, because I think it was a weekend, was a Saturday, especially on Saturdays and Sundays, you can see when you watch carefully in these luxurious hotels, 5-star hotels, you see very attractive young women coming down with some not so attractive, sometimes overweight Western men having breakfast together, and you know what time it is. I mean, maybe you don't know, but I know. So these girls are basically hookers, were invited by the guy. They stayed overnight and they have a nice breakfast together. And maybe after they finish breakfast, they go upstairs and have some more fun. So it is obvious, when you really know the scene a little bit and how the game is being played, that this cannot be a normal couple, And this woman, I don't know, she was alone, she was by herself, so maybe her client was still in the room sleeping, I don't know. But she was sitting there for a while, enjoying her breakfast, and then she went out to the patio, and I saw she was lighting up a cigarette, and then I knew, so that it's for sure a hooker, in my opinion. So this is what I concluded, but I don't want to judge her. That's not the topic of today's video. Again, I want to let you know that the clocks in Indonesia are ticking a little bit differently, and it can be more tricky, to conclude or to estimate or to discern whether a woman is really genuinely interested in you or not. How do you discern hookers from good girls? It's different than in Western countries. Western girls are a little bit more open, outgoing. They will signal also in a more open way to you if they are interested or not. Western girls might maybe even stare at you if they're interested in you, This is my experience. So that's the tricky thing to figure out. Is this girl just curious? This Indonesian girl, is she just curious, or is she really interested, How do you know whether an Indonesian girl is genuinely interested or not? I released a video about this. You can go and check it out. And I also released another video which is called 10 Clear Signs an Indonesian Girl Likes You. So in these videos I give you some clues what to look for, what to pay attention for, if you want to learn to discern whether an Indonesian girl is maybe interested in you or not. In general, I mentioned this many times, but I want to repeat it again. Indonesian girls are shy and passive. They're very feminine. And you know, when you walk down the street like me now, I'm walking down the road to the streets here. You know, these Indonesian women or girls, you know, they will not show any interest here, you know, when they spot me or see me, you know, not in public, and especially also if they are walking around in groups, you know. But there will be they will not show any initiative, they will not make any eye contact, they don't even smile, you know. This is because it is a conservative traditional culture, and especially when these girls or women walk around in groups, you know, you would think there is this group dynamic at play. Let's go here. This is the local market here. Bering Harjo is the name. Bering Harjo. It's a very big local market. You can find anything and everything here. Maybe I walk you through. And yeah, you might think that let's go here. That group dynamics, you know, make the girls a little bit more safe. Yeah, maybe, but you know, also these girls don't want to be seen as sluts, you know, when they're walking around in groups and then they see let's say a handsome foreigner, and then make no mistake and believe that these girls are running at you, you know. But what is also very interesting is Asian girls in general, also of course Indonesian women girls, you know, when you are walking around like me in this mall here, you know, in this market, you know, these girls, they watch you, you know. But the thing is, once you look at them, they already have looked away. It happens all in milliseconds, you know. These women are so good in that, especially the Asian women, to check you out. They look at you, they check you out, they look at you, and once you look at them, they already have looked away. Sometimes it happened to me that I was able to catch their gaze, their look. But they're very shy, you know. They don't want to be caught looking at you. So same thing is happening right now, recording this video. You know, some women, girls or whatever look at me, but when I look at them, then they already have looked away, you know. So we cannot really say that these women are not looking at us, but they don't want to engage directly, you know, like it's going to get too sexual, you know. So you just don't notice it, you know. That's the thing. This is my experience. This is sometimes really funny, you know, when I walk through the mall or in the streets and then I catch one of these girls, you know, and they're looking at me into my eyes, really, you know, but then they look away, very shy, you know, something like that. And of course, another thing is sales ladies, you know, in hotels, restaurants and malls, waitresses and stuff. They're working a job, you know, so they're getting paid for being friendly and polite and considerate. So this is another thing you have to be aware of. I'm pretty sure you are aware, you know, but so don't make the mistake to think because a waitress is so super friendly to you that she is interested in you. Maybe she is, but you don't know. Or maybe she's just doing her job because, you know, Indonesian people by nature are very friendly, polite and curious, you know, and enthusiastic also about foreigners. And the women might be very enthusiastic about foreign men. So we don't really know. Yeah. So their friendliness level and politeness level is already elevated anyway, because that's their culture, you know. Some signs Indonesian girls may be into you are like, of course, later when you know her already, she is texting you a lot, messages, you know, or she is showing care for you, asking if you have eaten your breakfast already, for example, things like that. She's making time for you. Okay, these are all things she would do when you are when you know her already, right? You met her already. But staring, Indonesian girls staring or looking at you, be careful, huh? Don't jump into the wrong conclusions. You also have to look at the environment you're in, you know. Like, of course, like the girl at the Kempinski, you know, that for sure was a hooker, 100%. Or when you hang around in bars, clubs, discos, you know, when you encounter these kind of girls, you can pretty much estimate very well what kind of category of women these are, you know. They are. But of course, maybe this is also your intention and motivation. You frequent these establishments because you want to hook up with these girls. It's all good, you know. I'm not saying anything. I'm not judging here. Unlike you meet girls here, like on the streets, or maybe in a shopping mall, or maybe in a university or hospital, you know, then there will be no looks. Yeah. Even the girls are interested in you, they will not look at you. So they will look at you, but they will make sure you won't figure it out. You won't notice it, you know, like I explained already. Good girls don't stare like that girl at the Kempinski Hotel. So, or in other words, you know, if you look for a hooker and you encounter a similar situation like I did at the Kempinski Hotel, then you might want to take action quickly and go over to her and have a chat, or I don't know, whatever you want to do. So so with that being said, I'm checking already out for today. Short story, I found it funny when I was sitting there having my breakfast, and then I just look up, I look to the right, and I see this woman really staring at me. And that's no regular, normal Indonesian woman would do that. Never, never, ever. And as I mentioned, this woman was really attractive, well dressed, and you get a feel for these girls, you know, how they dress up, how they make up, how their hair is being done, you know. So there are certain clues and hints where it is really pretty easy to figure out what kind of category this woman belongs to, you know. Again, I'm not judging these girls, I'm not judging this woman, I'm just saying. So don't think just because maybe you're the first time in Indonesia, and maybe it happens you are in Jakarta, maybe it happens you stay at the Kempinski, and maybe it happens you go for breakfast and you are alone. Yeah, you might catch one or two looks from women like these, but now you know. Yeah, don't think this woman is genuinely interested in you or into you because you are such a handsome foreigner. No, she is a hooker, she wants your money, she's interested in your wallet. And again, so to avoid any confusion here, don't think that the Kempinski is a place to pick up women. The Kempinski is not a place which is full of hookers, okay? This incident really was a rare occasion. I don't even remember being in Indonesia and experiencing something like that. That's why I'm doing this video, because it was so rare. But it was funny also, you know. And suddenly there's a so super attractive young woman staring at me, you know, like, of course she wanted to initiate contact. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's the story. Let me know what you think. Have you made similar encounters? What did you do? What did you do? Did you go over to her and hook up? Let us know. I'm done for today here from the city center in Yogyakarta. A beautiful area actually, old colonial buildings here from the Dutch era, and I like to walk around here. Anyway, see you in one of my next videos. Take care, bye bye.